Oh! No, bitch! Girl! Oh, no, girl! Oh, no!
Here I am. Here we are. Yes, another week.
Well, hello, everybody. Hello. In the words of RuPaul, welcome to a brand new episode of On the Line. It's your boy Kris Avalon. Yes, I am solo tonight. Well, on the line, basically, I'm always solo. But I know y'all were expecting, usually it's Thursday, we're supposed to be doing a drinks and drag, but Remy and Lindsay, unfortunately, on their way back to New York from their trip over in Savannah. So we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Drinks and Drag. But look, there's a lot of celebrity news and gossip that's going on right now. So of course, I had to jump on the line, hence the title, to bring you what's going on in the latest in celebrity news. We got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about this breaking news in regards to Jussie Smollett. Yes, he's been sentenced. We're going to talk about them 150 days he's about to serve in prison. Hey, Sailor Mermaid, glad you are here to join me on this journey. And feel free, for those of you who are watching live, be it on Twitter, because Twitter has its own live, and we over there, Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case is. I definitely want you guys to jump in and leave your comments on a lot of the topics we're going to be getting to. One, like I stated before, is going to be about Jussie Smollett. Another topic we're going to be talking about, we're going to talk about Nick Cannon. Opening up about his show getting canceled after only being on air for 6 months. The Jasmine brand is reporting exclusively that The Real is also on the verge of being canceled. We're going to give our thoughts on that, on whether or not if it's true, but we'll discuss that, like I said. Wendy Williams, a lot of teas coming out. Ex-husband Kelvin got some receipts in regards of how he feel like he was wrongfully terminated. We're going to be talking about that. And of course, Sherri, I'm about to give you Donkey of the Day because she out here really thinking that Wendy Williams is going to show up as a guest on her own show in the studio that she had first, and now you about to inhabit it, and you thinking Wendy gonna come over there and just sit on your couch and give you 5 minutes of her time, because that's the only time they like to give you on these shows anyway. So we got that. We're gonna be talking about Chris Brown, and speaking of receipts, he's another one who got receipts on this girl that accused him of rape. Kim Kardashian sticking her damn foot in her mouth, talking about hard work when she comes from a place of privilege. We're gonna give our thoughts on that. This story about Ryan Coogler and the body cam footage and stuff came out about that. And I got to read Colton Underwood, his delusional ass for filth over some shit he got. All of a sudden he find came out of the closet 5 minutes ago, discovered he liked dick, and now he want to give us, I guess we're going to call him Dr. Colton, and give him a relationship show, because apparently he knows more about relationships than the rest of us veteran gays who've been going at this a long time in regards of giving us advice on how we can find a man. Okay, ma'am. So we got that, and hold up. Oh, and also, child, we got to talk about this Nicki Minaj interview that she did with Joe Budden, and how she's finally giving Little Kim her flowers. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I've been saying for years that we need that T.S. Madison having her very own talk show. It's pause. Please hold. As IA said, but I'm gonna let you know this. So I don't know if y'all read the article, but myself, I wrote an article for Tribe. That it's a website that I write for that I do entertainment news and LGBT news and stuff as well. So if you want to read any written stories that I don't talk about on here, I'll talk about it over there. On there, I actually did an article headlined it because you always got to grab you with the headline. Said Wendy Williams is dead. A couple of people who would be a great idea as a possible replacement for her or should have their own talk show. And T.S. Madison was actually one of my choices, and I tagged her in it, and she liked it. So shout out to my girl T.S. I love everything you do, and you definitely have pushed yourself and has been an inspiration for the likes of myself, someone who's in the LGBT community who is unapologetically themselves and is doing the things the way it needs to be done. So I live for her and everything she's doing and her whole hustle, and she definitely needs we need to give her flowers too. So we're gonna be doing that down the road. But So without further ado, we're going to get into these topics. But first, please, as you saw in the beginning, click like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And tell your friends about this good old show because, you know, we get a little messy over here. But without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, I was like, today this should have been the day we used the celebrity dish thingy majiggy that we came up with. I mean, we still could. But breaking news. So Jussie Smollett, you know, I thought earlier when I saw online, because I've been going back and forth waiting for the news and everything to come out, and I saw that it said that Jussie Smollett wasn't going to serve jail time. Then I started getting messages from people who was hitting me up in my you know, and telling me that he is going to jail. I'm like, oh wait, so I'm hearing conflicting stories. So of course, because you know I don't like coming on here without no receipts. So, of course, I did the research, and yes, it's true. So, he was sentenced in a Chicago court today for falsely reporting to police that he was the victim of a hate crime. Now, Jussie was sentenced to 30 months probation, with the first 150 days to be spent in a Cook County jail. He must also pay $120,000 in restitution, along with an additional $25,000 fine. And I'm sure with that, Empire money. I'm gonna say love and hip hop child. I'm sure with that Empire money, he could afford it, among other things that he probably makes money from. But so it says, prior to his sentencing, a judge denied a motion from his attorney to set aside the guilty verdict. Now, according to CNN, Smollett, who was 39, was found guilty in December on 5 counts of felony disorderly conduct for making false reports about what he said was an anti-gay and anti-black hate crime. Now, the actor, who is black and gay, told Chicago police that on a frigid night in January 2019, 2 unknown men attacked him, yelling racist and homophobic slurs at him, poured bleach on him, and wrapped a noose around his neck. So, you know, there was a lot of people, a lot of celebrities, including the one and only Michelle Obama, jumped to his defense and was like, Jussie is innocent, free Jussie, you know, we stand by you, and all this other good stuff. And come to find out, you know, people started looking at this story and saying, you know what, something in the milk ain't clean. And people started looking into it and was like, I'm not believing it. And, you know, the people, a lot of people didn't say about it. Me, personally, I stood by him because I'm like, first of all, there's a lot of you white celebrities and shit be doing far worse. I mean, do I need to bring up Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman? How y'all spent, like, what, a weekend in jail? Like, literally, someone like my, you know, if I had assaulted somebody on a Friday, I got out on a Monday, you know, after I saw the judge. So literally, y'all got a slap on the wrist and y'all were able to get out, while Jussie had to basically he's getting the book thrown at him. Now, whether or not it's true, I don't know anymore. Like, you know, when you hear stories so much, like when we talk about Wendy Williams and everything that's going on with her, you hear stories so much, and so much stuff is coming out, and the story changes and it shifts and it morphs and it does all these things. It's like, I don't even know where the story began, what it's about. Like, I don't even care anymore. I was just hoping that because so many things, you know, with white folks and stuff get away with, that he could have just got off. But I understand that the judicial system is not built for people of color. I do want to play y'all this clip of him in court, where after the verdict was revealed, he got a little testy with the judge. And I'm kind of thinking, was it a good idea for him to do that? You be the judge. Roll the clip.
I am not suicidal. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years, and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you, and I respect the jury, but I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. And if anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that. I respect you, Your Honor. I respect your decision. Jail time. I am not.
Well, for the record, in case y'all didn't hear the 5 times he said it, he's not suicidal. Look, whether or not you know, whatever the guilties, if he's guilty, innocent, whatever the case is, it is what it is. I'll have to give him this. He is stuck by his convictions. He continues to go on this rant and say to people that he is not guilty of lying. He did not make this up, whatever the case was. Do I think that there was some kind of racist, homophobic thing that possibly could have happened? Perhaps. I mean, is there a possibility that he could have made this story because he wanted to bring more attention to the fact that he was getting threats on the set of Empire? Because there was a story being told, and a lot of people were uncomfortable with the fact that we had a storyline that was featuring an openly gay black man, and they were seeing that projected on their screens because there are people of color who have a problem with LGBTQ people and realizing that we exist in this world and we should be allowed to have our stories told. Perhaps that maybe Jussie took it a little too far because he's an attention whore, and he comes from a large family, and the fact that there could be a lot of stuff going on with that. I don't know. Me personally, what I said is I agree with what Sailor Mermaid said. I did not want him to go to jail. I thought, you know what? Give him a slap on the wrist. He should do community service, pay a fine, and let's move on. But Chicago needed to make an example out of this young man. And clearly that's what happened. Because, quiet as it's kept, the police don't have a great track record when it comes to Black people or people of color in general, but I guess we could say mainly Black people when it comes to their arrest records and what's going on with that over in Chicago. I know y'all got a crime rate, so do we over in New York, but still, the Chicago PD does not have the greatest reputation. So I will definitely be keeping an eye on this story. It's unfortunate that, Justice got to spend time in jail over this. I guess, hopefully we can all move on from this because we've forgiven worse. I was going to say worse. I'm like, chat, ain't even the word. But hopefully we can move on from this as we should, because we are a forgiving nation, and y'all are forgiving worse people for worse things. Y'all still out here vouching for R. Kelly and Bill Cosby over worse things that they've done. So what I feel like what Jussie's done, it's not, in my opinion, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe y'all feel like it's a big deal, but for me, it's not. And I'm curious also, what's going to become of B-Boy Blues? The movie was filmed last year. I saw the film last year during the American Black Film Festival when that was going on for a week. And they showed it at the Magic Johnson Theater over in Harlem. I love the movie. I hope that it comes out. They're probably going to wait until he comes out of jail and put it out. I don't know when he's going to officially be serving his time, but if he's going, we're in March. If they have him carted off to jail over in April, that's September. So y'all can drop it. That's basically a year from last year when it came out, because I think it came out in September. So, it was November actually. My fault. So if y'all could drop it literally around October, November, people need to see this movie. B-Boy Blues, in my opinion, was a great movie. I love the book. Hopefully they'll get to make second time around. If they don't with Jussie, make it with somebody else. If y'all don't want that stench of him on it. But I feel like maybe what y'all need to do, actually, strike while the iron's hot. Drop the movie now, because we love everybody loves a little controversy. So if y'all want to get the movie out there, I say drop it now before he goes to jail, so that way y'all can get the exclusive interview where he's maintaining his innocence, but he's still out here promoting this movie. So good luck to you, Jussie. I still am in your corner. Whether or not other people want to be, that's on y'all. But I walk alone in this world, as we all do. So speaking of walking alone, because now he ain't got a crew to go to in the mornings, Nick Cannon's show has been canceled after 6 months of the air. It was announced this morning. Oh, it actually was announced yesterday, because I heard about it yesterday. But it became official this morning because everybody was talking about it. And he addressed it this morning, where he had Angela Yee sitting on his show, because I guess she does the Room Report over there. I didn't know, because I actually don't watch Nick Cannon's show. So I watched it in the beginning. I realized it wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't something I was necessarily into. But a lot of y'all, I mean, not a lot, because clearly they would have canceled. A lot of y'all did like it. But there was a few of y'all out here that loved the show. And what he said was, because I don't think we have a clip of, hey, Nick, or how this stupid song goes. It's interesting. This is show business, and the biggest word is business. This is what he said on the air. He says, I show up each and every day, bright and early, to give you a show, and I'm also a businessman. Now, he also continued by saying, I want to expand and elevate. We ain't going nowhere, but it's about broadening my audience. And then the host, who was 41, described his viewers as family and thanked them for tuning in. You know what? He did hit a certain demographic in the
news that the Nick Cannon show is canceled.
What?
No,
I'm just joking.
And listen, so I want to hear from you exactly what happened, because we hear the reports. You know, people are saying it was because of ratings, it's because Jennifer Hudson's coming, it's because of so many different things.
Yeah,
So.
you know what? It's interesting. When we're dealing at a time, this is show business, right? And we know the biggest word in that is business. And this is a business, and as a businessman, I know that as much fun as we have on the show, business is the thing that makes this whole thing tick and operate.
Okay, my bad. So apparently we did have the clip. You know, a lot of times I'll be trying to pull up clips and reading and doing all this other stuff. And yeah, the clips we did. So I gotta be flipping back and forth. But anyway, so yes, a lot of things, you know, this is show business, things happen. And I was talking with production earlier before we went live, and the wheels started turning a bit because, you know, my producer wheels was turning. I'm like, and I've been hearing rumors that saying that he may go to Netflix and he's going to shop into other networks. And I don't think, you know what, I just feel like network TV just isn't what it used to be. Like, I feel like network TV doesn't really take risks. I personally look at Nick Cannon as someone who would probably thrive in late night, not necessarily daytime. Daytime is not an easy thing to tackle, especially when there's so many rules that you have to abide by when you are doing daytime, because daytime, you can't say certain things. You can be a little edgier and raunchy. I know for me personally, and I've always said this, when the time comes, because I never say if, I always say when. Gotta speak it into existence, as they always tell me, you know, The Secret. I don't know if you ever read that book, but when you speak things out and then when you just think in that way, you know, things will usually come around. So I know for me personally, when the time comes for me to have my own talk show, I always say that my personality, the way I am, late night is basically definitely my venue. Like, that's where I need to be. I need to be in nighttime, late night. There ain't a lot of us even in. Look. I feel like the last time we had somebody black and like late night, wasn't it Arsenio? I know Whoopi Goldberg had a couple of talk shows, but hers always lasted a moment. So it would be nice to see Nick possibly thrive in late night. I was also thinking this, because we were talking about this also. I think, oh my God, I lost my train of thought, child. It'll come back. I was thinking about The Real, which I was about to come up and talk about. But, oh wait, now I remember. So we were talking about streaming, and production and I, we were talking about streaming, and we were thinking, we was like, you know what would be a good idea? Because I noticed, like, I don't know if you guys have ever, if y'all subscribe to Shudder, but I was like, they have, like, why don't streaming services have like a channel, like a live channel where they can show live programs on there? You can watch it at that time. So they can, because I was trying to figure out, like, how could they incorporate like talk show type of stuff, panel shows, this, that, and the other. I know a lot of channels, they just put them up and then it's like whenever you're ready to watch it, you can watch it. But I do think it would be a cool idea if they can kind of take, because Shudder does this. Shudder has 3 live channels that they have on their streaming service, and you can watch the movies as well, where they'll be live showing a movie, and they have like a list of movies that they're playing throughout the day with, you know, slasher films is on one channel, and they have 2 other channels that they cater other things to. And I was like, why don't they do that? They can come up and give a lot of us with personalities our own platform on a Netflix, on whatever streaming service would be willing to do that and create that world, and then bring some new talent in and try them out. You know, always, I say, just give them all the 6-week sneak peek. Don't even green light a full season of a show, because you never know. And it's a huge risk to take with a lot of these shows. But if a lot of us are out here building our brand and building our fan base, the fan base will come and more people will be introduced to the bigger platform, and we can continue to build that way. Instead of these Jennifer Hudsons, who, quiet as it's kept, as much as I love Jennifer Hudson, I don't see it for her with this talk show. I really don't. Like, I love her voice. I like her singing. I like when she does her movies. I need her to start playing every goddamn celebrity, you know, under the damn sun. So it'd be interesting. So it'd be nice to see her play herself on a talk show. But it's like this whole genre, excuse me, of talk show dumb, what they're doing on TV is y'all giving musicians talk shows or American Idol alums. So we have, you know, we got Drew Barrymore, who's an actor. She got her own talk show, excuse me, which is going in, it's, I think, 3rd season next year. She's been on, I think, 2 years. Then you have Jennifer Hudson about to get her show on Fox, which was in a bidding war, produced by the people that did the Ellen DeGeneres show. Then, of course, we have Kelly Clarkson and all these other people, and then now he's gone, and now Wendy's gone. We're about to get into Wendy in a second. So it's just a lot going on, and this seems like a shift in talk. And I don't know, what do people want to see? Because I know for me, when it comes to doing the talk shows, I want to see people who are a little more edgy. Yeah, we do need Ian, since he is here in the room. Okay, so Sailor Mermaid said, daytime talk shows are becoming boring and slowly becoming a thing of the past. Nowadays, this podcast is taking over. Exactly. The podcast is taking over. I did one for 7 years. Then we coming back as a new show soon called Kris Avalon Unfiltered. And Ian Bernardo, as y'all know, is notorious from American Idol. Glad you're back in the room again. And look, I would love to get your opinion on this, because American Idol has gotten worse. I don't even know why that shit's still on. Like, the day... Are people still watching American Idol? Like, I need to know that. Hold on, I need to call. Jesus Christ, I'm dying. Yeah, ain't nobody watching American damn Idol. Like, y'all overpay. First of all, you're overpaying Katy Perry $25 million to be boring. I love Lionel Richie. Like, Lionel Richie is someone who my mother played when I was growing up. But who cares? And Luke Bryan, of course, because he's country, and country music is pretty much it sounds like the dominating genre from Middle America. So that's gonna play. Yes, it is still running. They just started their new season like a couple of weeks ago, unfortunately. That's why I was like, who's watching this? And then I always find it funny because, you know, they're over on ABC. So The View loves promoting that show. I'm like, y'all be the only ones up in here listening to these boring people talk about a bunch of damn nothing. Yeah, that show is more tired and thirsty than Terry Schiavo. But anyway, so good luck to you, Nick Cannon. Whatever you decide to do with your show, we'll see if you shop it somewhere else. Like me personally, I watched the show. And like I said before, it wasn't my cup of tea. I found the show boring. I wasn't necessarily interested in watching his show. It just wasn't my. And you know what? I have to say this. No shade, but you straight men, y'all are not interested when it comes to talking about hot topics. That's why I guess you had to have Angela Yee on your show to talk about celebrity news and gossip, because when you are someone who's in a place of, you know, a lot of celebrities, you can't really go in and let have. When you have people like myself and a bunch of, I've met celebrities, I've interviewed them and all that good stuff. But when I have no real ties to fame and celebrity and all that stuff, I think when you do have those ties, you can't necessarily be biased. You have to walk a fine line. And I don't care about no damn line. I ain't walking no damn fine line. Y'all can kiss my ass with that. So, so yeah, good luck to you, Nick, and we'll see what you do in the future. And I'm sure it'll be good because you got a lot of kids to feed. As the man said in Terminator. Oh no, Total Recall. He said he had 5 kids, but your ass got 8. So, yeah. So let's move on. So speaking of talk shows getting asked, because it seemed like they cleaning the house over at Fox. The rumor is, or word on the curb, is that your favorite daytime talk show is about to get the axe, as in The Real. I say y'all's because I don't watch it. But so according to the Jasmine brand, they're exclusively reporting that The Real is allegedly getting canceled. Now, insiders are telling the site that the show, which has been on for 8 seasons, will be ending soon, and they're saying that it may have to do with low ratings. Now, The Real, as you may know, is a syndicated talk show created by Sally-Ann Salsano. Now, I'm trying to remember who she is. I think she produced, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she produced Mob Wives. Mob Wives is a Jersey show, one of those damn shows, but I think it was Mob Wives that she was behind. So, which I love that show. Shout out to my girl Drita. The series initially received a trial run on Fox-owned markets in the summer of 2013 and premiered for full syndication in 2014. It's currently co-hosted by singer and actress Adrienne singer loosely, singer and actress Adrienne Bailon, doing "I'm in Love with a Church Girl" with Ja Rule. Does that count as acting? Comedian and actress Lonnie Love, television host and fashion stylist Jeannie Mai, and actress and model Garcelle Bouvet. Now, okay, so yeah, this is all happening. And, you know, we just talked about Nick Cannon getting canceled, so now they're talking about this. I don't necessarily know if the show is going to get canceled, but if it is, I'm like, was anybody really going to miss The Real? Like, I mean, it was a cute show. It was basically like The View, but with women of color, which I think is great because that's something we needed. I've been saying for years, I don't know why y'all don't give The View, but with the LGBTQ community, get some gays and lesbians or something or another. I mean, in a way, I do that with Drinks and Drag. That's why I created that panel show, because that I felt was a void missing. Like, if anybody's going to be entertaining and is willing to spill the celebrity news and gossip and talk about things that play the community, and women do love gays, until I guess we say the wrong thing. Y'all want to call us F words and all kind of other something, I'm gonna cut your ass out. But let me not slide off base, and bring it on back. So so with that being said, I don't know, but I feel like from what I heard, people were saying was that the problem with The Real is that by the time they get to talking about, because I think they film, they don't do live, they don't do enough live shows, kind of like The View. The View is live every day of the week. Friday also, but Joy does Fridays. So that's like the one day Whoopi has off. So their show is always live. So because they have to always be abreast of what's going on. And I think they've always been live. So, but The Real's not always live. It's hard when you're doing a panel show and it's recorded. So then if stuff do break or stuff does come out, then you really can't go live. And by the time you get to the news, it's old. I mean, that was a problem that people had with Wendy Williams too. Like when she would get on there and talk about certain topics, people would be like, well, it's kind of old. But I think a lot of people tuned into Wendy because they wanted to hear Wendy's opinion on that late topic. So that's why a lot of times we tuned in. We didn't care the fact, some of y'all didn't care that it was late, but I'm like, girl, I covered that story already. So, but I guess it's different when you're in media versus when you're just someone who just wants to be entertained by your favorite personality. So if the Real ends up being canceled, I mean, the girls will be fine. Lonnie Love will be doing stand-up. She gets a lot of child. RuPaul will probably have her on as a full-time judge as much as she be on there. Like seems like every day she's been on the RuPaul's Drag Race multiple times, I think last season. But I think that was due to the pandemic when she was on there again this season. Adrienne Bailon, I guess she could tap it because she ain't really focused on the music, so she could tap into like her, doing more interviews, being more of a personality, focusing on that YouTube channel she has. Garcelle's gonna be back on the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so she could be doing that. And Jeannie Mai, there was rumors that she was gonna be on The Real Housewives of Atlanta next season, but I'm like, child, they ain't thinking about next season. Right now, they need to get through this season, which hasn't aired yet. And last season, they was already on thin ice because nobody was really watching. So they really try to get people to come back and watch the show post Nene Leakes and get those ratings back up and running, and for the fans to even want to give a damn about you girls again. So I'll be keeping an eye out on the show to see if the Jasmine brand is pretty accurate about this. I'm not necessarily known about the Jasmine brand with their accuracy, because I notice a lot of times that they're reporting stories that are already pretty much been out there. And I do follow the Jasmine brand's page a lot when it comes to certain topics that I cover on here. But I've never really known the Jasmine brand for breaking news stories and being on the money with it. I've known B. Scott to do it. I've known the Daily Mail to do it because they broke a lot of tea about Wendy Williams, who we're about to get into in a second. So when there's a lot of stories that do come out, there are very reliable sources. So I will wait and see if this does happen, and we'll revisit this. But for now, good luck, y'all. So speaking of Wendy, let's get into this tea. So Kevin Hunter, last week he filed a $10 million lawsuit against Debma Mercury, the production company behind the Wendy Williams show, over accusations that they wrongfully terminated him shortly after, Wendy filed for divorce because he done knocked up Sharina, which I don't think was part of their arrangement. I mean, he could fuck other bitches because he was quiet as it's kept. He was doing that for years throughout their marriage, and she looked the other way. But the baby is what was the story. Baby Journey was the story that broke the camel's back, and where Wendy was like, I can't be out here looking like a whole fool. I mean, I could look like a fool behind the scenes, but you can't make me look like a fool out in these streets. So her ex-husband, Kevin, recently dropped a bombshell in his $10 million lawsuit against Debma Mercury. Now, Hunter filed the suit in 2019 and claims the company which distributed Wendy Williams fired him unconstitutionally. Now, according to Radar, Hunter leaked an email that was allegedly from Ira Bernstein of Dem Mercury, and the email said to have read the following, saying, "Dear Kevin, out of respect for our," well, I'm going to say Kelvin, because that is the government, actually. It says it on the birth certificate. "Out of respect for our 10-year working relationship, we had hoped to meet you in person and travel to New York to do so. But unfortunately, you have canceled today's meeting, and we are left with no choice but to communicate to you in writing the effective immediately. Your role as executive producer of The Wendy Williams Show is terminated, and your professional relationship with Devin Mercury is also concluded." Now, Bernstein allegedly continued by saying, "In connection with the termination of employment, you are no longer permitted on the studio premises, and all communication regarding your transition, including collection of your belongings from the studio premises, should be handled via your attorney, as you have indicated that you are represented by counsel." You know, I was channeling Kyle Barker from Living Single when I was doing I was like, whatever. But back to this. So your attorney
News that the Nick Cannon show is canceled.
What? No, I'm just joking.
And listen, so I want to hear from you exactly what happened, because we hear the reports. People are saying it was because of ratings, because
feel comfortable. So he told me to call police while he, I guess, stalled. What is on the note, ma'am?
Why are we playing the Ryan Coogler story? We didn't get to it yet. But anyway, well, that's Sticky Finger Skirt. So he says, your attorney may reach out to either of us directly so we can direct him/her to appropriate parties. Thank you for all your contributions over the years. Kevin, we wish you well. Now, the thing with that is, when that happened, because I'm going to tell you the timeline. So when that happened, this was around the time when I said that the story broke about, when all the stories was coming out about that Calvin had a whole house with Sharina, a couple of miles from the mansion that he owned with his wife and his son in Jersey. They had a whole nother house that he was paying with the money that he was making from managing his wife at the time. And he had a whole other life, and then Wendy showed in the movie how, she wrote on the garage, and she hired a private investigator that was collecting all this, this evidence, collecting all the receipts, so that way she could have enough evidence to present when she had to drop the bomb and file the divorce. Because as Wendy always said, excuse me, on her show, she's always hatching a plan when it comes to you doing her wrong. She always hatching a plan. Like, she's a smart woman when it comes to that. And the way they always made it seem was that Wendy could not walk without Kevin's legs. Like, he was very protective of her when it came to a lot of a lot of business endeavors that was going on with doing the show, or whatever the case was. Because from what I heard, when initially they came to her with wanting to do a show for Fox, when they came to her, they were trying to lowball. They were trying to pull a Monique. I don't necessarily know how much money they were trying to lowball her with, but Kelvin, with his goon demeanor, and the fact that he's from Brownsville, Brooklyn, which is where I was born and raised. Shout out to Brownsville. I won't fuck with nobody from the hood part of Brooklyn. That's like that's the mean streets of Brooklyn. Like, when y'all like the joke when Jamila Jamil said, Kim Kardashian's from the mean streets of Beverly Hills. We'll get to that, Reed, in a moment. But with that being said, it's like he brought a lot of that street mentality to the industry, because why does it get, like, in the industry, you have a lot of these people out here who are hustlers, who are people who will try to hustle you and swindle you and this, that, and the other. So you have a lot of people in this business who have to have that kind of mentality. It was like, oh, you're not going to F over my wife or F over me too, because at the end of the day, we are a package deal. This is a business. I am her manager, and I want to make sure that she gets the best or whatever, because when I get a piece of that percentage, I'm going to be able to eat big, and I'm going to be able to take care of whatever things even though he was philandering, doing all this stuff, he could continue to, afford to have that lifestyle of taking care of his other endeavors and getting all the things he wanted to get, his cars and sneakers, whatever the case was, paying that house that he was, staying with Sharina and the other house that Wendy was in. So, having, his cake and eating and do whatever it was he was doing with his own money, he was going to be able to do that. So, the question remains, does he have a case? Because Wendy was the one who said that after this whole situation happened, that I'm going to, like, she didn't want him on the premises. She basically was like, you're fired. And I don't even want you in the studio, because we all heard the stories how his presence was very much overbearing when he would be in there, that how he was berating his wife in between takes of doing the show. He would always nitpick on certain things that he didn't like that was going on with the show, and he let it be his presence and was very vocal about it and putting his wife down, and she put up with it because, you know, he would just have a way, and I guess that was just their arrangement. And it made a lot of the people who worked on the show uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, does he have a case? Possibly. If there's a deal in this contract that regardless of what happens, like until the contract is done, that you have to continue to pay me a certain percentage, then maybe yes, he has a case. It just all boils down to what the contract entails. And, you know, I want to see, let me see, because I didn't print it. Well, he says that he built the Wendy Williams Show brand and created segments like Hot Topics and Shoe Cam. Even though Hot Topics, quite as a kid, they took the view. But I digress. So they're saying his divorce proceedings did not absolve, the producers of their responsibilities to pay him for his contributions to the show and allow him to continue in his role as executive producer unless agreed upon by Kelvin and producers that his role would cease and that the producers would compensate him accordingly. So that's basically what I said. What it all boils down to what is in the contract. So regardless of what happens with me and my wife, if we're divorced, we're divorced. But as long as my name is on as an executive producer and I still have, you know, it's still within the contract that I'm supposed to still get paid a certain amount of money, whether I'm there or not. So yeah, you fired me, but if it's still within, because I don't know, if it's still within the contract that I'm still on board as, because I don't think you could, I mean, unless you go buy him out. Because if you have a stake in something and it's within the contract, once the contract is up, which technically because they said the show was not renewed, that's why they're canceling it. When this show is done this season, he should have still been getting money. So whether or not you agree with, you know, I don't particularly care for Kelvin. And whether you know, how do you feel about the situation, whatever it was that he was in, run him his coins. That's what I say. So I have a feeling that he may have a case in this, you know, a chance in this fight. I guess what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I'll keep you guys abreast of the story because, you know, it seems like every other damn day I got a Wendy Williams story basically every week. Now, speaking of which, because now let's talk about Sherri Shepherd, because y'all know she is about to jump on board and take over Wendy Williams' studio, and she's about to get her own show called Sherri. Now, she said the following. She's making her, you know, list, checking it twice, on the list of guests for the first season of her upcoming talk show, which is going to be premiering in September. Now, she says that she would, of course, welcome Wendy Williams as a guest on her show. Now, Sherri is currently the permanent guest host of Wendy's talk show, where Williams has been absent due to health reasons. And here's what she says. She says, I'm so thankful for Wendy for letting me fill in for her and letting me fill the gap to support her, as all the other co-hosts have also done. This is what she told Deadline at the AAMCA Awards in Hollywood on Wednesday. This is yesterday. Says, I'm thankful because if it wasn't for Wendy, the eyes wouldn't have been on me. I'm so thankful for her. We're all praying for her. Well, I don't know if you want to agree with that, or, you know, I don't know if you want to go that far, because here's the thing. Why are you thinking Wendy? Wendy don't have a stake in this fight. She did not choose any of you people, according to her and her camp, to be filling in for her. At the end of the day, you don't really have a choice. Like, the show must go on, as they say. And if you're not going to show up to work, I need to put people in place that is going to fill that void, because this crew that works at the Wendy Williams show, they've got to keep their kids, you know, paid for their kids' private colleges, private schools, if they're in that, you know, middle school, elementary school, high school, whatever level they're in. They got to be able to support their families. They got to be able to put food on the table. They got to pay their rent, or multiple rents, depending on how many places that they have to live. So if Wendy's not willing to understand that, then that is her problem and not a Sherri problem. I know Sherri's trying to be the most diplomatic person, blah, 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 but wishful thinking, boo. If you think that Wendy is going to step foot back in that studio being, you know, the bitter cancer, she is a Cancer. I'm not saying that she's a Cancer, but she is a Cancer. That's her sign. So if she's feeling a certain, yeah, there's no way she's gonna step up in there. But according to reports, I was Sherri may want to hold her. I don't think she want to hold her breath for Wendy coming on and being a guest, because word on the curb is that she's looking to this. She's not going down without a fight in this whole situation. And they said that Wendy is not the past. A source basically said the following, and this is according to. I'm trying to see what was the. I don't know. It'll come up. Well, they're saying so. We'll just go with source. Oh, source according to Radar Online. I was looking to see what the actual source was, so we'll take it with a grain of salt. But let's entertain it for a second. So a source basically said this: Wendy is not the pass the baton type of person, or try a person. I think they said type of person. I think that's what it meant. It was a misprint. As far as she is concerned, Sherri went behind her back and stole her show. The fact that Sherri now wants Wendy to support her and give her blessing is as fake as it comes. Don't worry, Sherri. When Wendy is ready to tell her side of the story, she will do so, and not sitting next to you on her old couch, but rather in court. Another source close to Williams echoed the sentiment, saying Sherri can save her gratitude and prayers for Wendy. What she did to a sick woman isn't right, and she knows it. But don't count Wendy out. She has been down before and fought her way back. And when Wendy is back, she will remember what Sherri did. Now, child, number one, y'all blaming Sherri Shepherd for this. This is a reach. This is network shit. This is their doing. They're the ones who decide to be like, you know what? We're not going to take a risk on Wendy because she ain't showed up for her show. This is clearly something, because I've been discussing this behind the scenes. This is clearly a fight that has to do with Wendy versus the suits. So whatever her gripe is, take it up with Demma Mercury, take it up with Fox. That is what you need to take it up with if you're planning on filing a lawsuit. We already know Kelvin has his $10 million lawsuit that he has in the brinks of trying to get the money that he feels like he is owed from these production people who wrongfully executive producers and still be making money from the show. Even if you don't physically want him on set, he is still, his name is in the credits as an executive producer. He owns some portion of the Wendy Williams show. And I think for a long time, because there was some stuff going on behind the scenes, that Fox was looking to branch out and bring in new talent. And Wendy is notorious, her and her husband, of basically trying to stop the bag of other people. Nene Leakes was supposed to have a gig or a show that she was supposed to be doing with Demma Mercury. Wendy, her husband, put a kibosh on that. There was a time when Angie Martinez had a shot to go down. And remember, Wendy and Angie Martinez had their little fight back in the day. If y'all know, from Hot 97, Wendy was talking shit about her baby daddy, Nokio from Drew Hill, and Miss Thing was, and Miss Mamas was like, bitch, you better keep my man's name and my kid's name and everything going to my personal life out your mouth, because we are DJs and we're all doing our own thing, and here you come doing this. And I live for Angie. Angie's my girl. So, she is an icon within the radio industry and what she has done for New York and this, that, and the other. So Wendy coming up here being the messy woman that she is, I live for the mess, but sometimes she be overstepping because she needs a story, and she's more or less about stepping over on others to make her name be what it is. And Wendy hasn't, she has made a big name for herself, but I live for Wendy, and I live for all the stuff that she is. She is an icon in this world. Remember, I've said it there many times. If it wasn't for Wendy, there would be no TMZ. There would be no Jasmine Brand. There wouldn't be a lot of these podcasters and influencers and YouTubers, these people out here who are doing the celebrity news. God, there would be no me. Even though Wendy is a part of the person who inspired me to do this. There's many others. I love, Howard Stern's another one. There's so many others. And a Moosh Boosh. So, what's happening? You want to jump in on a line and say something? Production, I guess not. But I guess it was a glitch in Matrix. But anyway, back to us. So yeah, I think this is a suit situation, and for Wendy to sit up in here and want to have this fight with Sherri, this is typical. Oh, I'm going to fight the woman and not deal with the true situation at hand. And Sherri is trying to be diplomatic and she's trying to be politically correct, but girl, save all that for someone who believes it. gear up to give us the show that you're willing to give, and just focus on that. And yeah, so I Sherri, just focus on doing your show. Now, do I think the show's gonna last? I don't know. I need to see the show first. Like I saw Nick Cannon show, I'm kind of sense it was gonna get canceled. But we'll just wait and see when September comes how the Sherri show looks, and then I'll give my opinion. Was that like 4, 5, 6 months from now? What are we in March? Yeah, 6 months from now. So we'll just wait 6 months and we'll see what happens with Sherri, and then we'll come back to this conversation, visit it when it airs. So good luck to you, Wendy. Good luck to you, Sherri. I'm curious to see how this whole thing turns out with the celebrity news and in regards to this drama with them. So yeah, let's move on, because I can go on forever talking about Miss Wendy Williams. Let's talk about Chris Brown. So this is why I always say we need to handle sexual assault cases on a case-by-case basis, and let's not try to lump things into one sum, because a girl came out here, accused Chris Brown of sexual assault, but Chris Brown was like, oh, hell no, you're not going to try to, call me out my name and lie on my name, actually, because Chris Brown has receipts, and Miami Beach police have obtained those receipts between Chris and a woman who has accused him of drugging and assaulting her in a sexual manner in 2020. Now, in the texts obtained by Radar, the alleged victim, known only as Jane Doe, and describes herself as a professional choreographer, dancer, model, and musical artist, is seen flirting with the 32-year-old singer in a vulgar manner and sharing nude selfies shortly after the alleged rape occurred. Now, I did see some of the text messages and this, that, and the other, and from what I saw, let me try to read. So it says, I don't like talking on phones about ish like that. I'm just being proactive. Oh, ish, I'll go get one. I definitely didn't bust inside ya. Blank just was hella faded, so I wanted to be sure. Okay, babe, that's fine. I want to blank you tonight at midnight, LOL. And it said, where you at? And then it says, bae. So now, as previously reported, the woman is suing Chris for $20 million for allegedly drugging and raping her on a yacht docked outside Diddy's home in late December 2020. Now, according to the lawsuit, the woman also claims that she was, R-word by Brown after he served her drinks. Oh, so now you're trying to say she Bill Cosby Jew. Okay. She claims she became disoriented, physically unstable, and started to fall in and out of sleep. Excuse me. Brown then led Jane Doe down a hallway into a bedroom. We allegedly closed the door and blocked her from leaving the room. They also alleged that Chris Brown then addressed an R-word the woman, skeeting inside of her, and saying that he was done. The following day, according to the complaint, Brown allegedly demanded that the woman take a plan B. However, the text messages between Chris and the alleged victim appears to question the drug and assault allegations. Now, law enforcement have been provided dozens of text messages. It also revealed Jane Doe moved to LA soon after the alleged encounter with Brown and tried to hook up with him at least 4 times in the past year. Now, in a message to Brown, Jane Doe said, I wanted to come over, LOL, I'm bored, make time for me tonight. Now, reportedly, Chris Brown is pursuing legal action against the woman and is cooperating with the investigation in Miami. Now, here's the thing. Like I stated before, when it comes down to sexual assault, it should be done on a case-by-case basis. I feel like when girls out here, because look, did we hear like Drake is putting hot sauce in his condoms, because there literally are girls that he hooks up with that are trying to take his condom full of skeet. Or should I call it Skeet Davidson? Because that's Pete Davidson name. They take that Skeet Davidson out the garbage, and they try to insert it in themselves, and they trying to get pregnant. Yeah, there's a lot of you girls out here, and I'm not trying to say all of you, but there's some of y'all out here. Y'all are nasty. Y'all are vile. Y'all are thirsty, and y'all all trying to look for a damn come up. And there's literally girls out here who will literally pursue. I forget that girl, the one girl who was up here literally giving a play-by-play of a dumb basketball player, or it was an athlete. I don't know I forget if it was basketball or football, but she would literally be like, how you could get these guys to get up in you, run up in you, and get pregnant so that way they can get a come up, a financial come up. And there's a lot of these girls out here that's doing that. And it's unfortunate because what it does is it diminishes a lot of the underreported cases of sexual assault that transpires that's going on. Like there's a lot of girls out here that I'm sure would love to be able to speak out and have their Me Too moment if it's valid. But there's too many people out here where y'all using this as a come up. I remember I had a friend, this is a gay situation, where he was doing business with someone and he was accused of assaulting someone and was going around spreading this rumor trying to get him fired at a club. And what I know how he works. He literally has his camera, he has his light, his hands is busy. When he's filming and he's doing his work, he don't have time to be groping and doing that to any other. So when you up in here saying that, that's not necessarily happening. And literally he said it to a friend of mine that, oh, I'm just gonna say this because I'm gonna get you fired. So there's literally people out here who literally will make stuff up because they want a moment and they want to ruin your life. And it's unfortunate that we have people out here that are doing that we have these thirst buckets who are using any kind of opportunity as a come up to try to ruin someone's life. And like I said before, it takes away from those who are out here who are being assaulted for real by actual celebrities and are getting away with it because y'all thinking like it's okay to just make shit up. And it's unfortunate because you know what? And also on top of that, you know what? I know Kris doesn't have the best reputation because y'all still won't let it go about what happened with him and Rihanna. Rihanna's moved on. She's got a whole baby in her body that she's ready to push out any moment. Well, her man A$AP Rocky. Like she done moved on. I don't know why y'all won't let this shit move on. Because Rihanna done moved on from it. She said that she's moved on from it. Her and Kris are cordial. She's moved on. He's out here doing whatever it is that he's doing. But a lot of y'all still want to hold that. You know, y'all still want to be out here and blame him for, you know, that. Y'all still won't get up off his neck, especially TMZ. Y'all live for trying to come for Chris Brown or anybody black for that matter. But y'all love Kanye. Kanye could do no wrong in y'all eyes. But whatever. So good luck to you, Kris. I'm definitely going to pay attention to this story and keep abreast of it as it develops. And we'll see if he gets his justice. Because, you know, it's unfortunate. So let's talk about Kim Kardashian sticking her foot in her damn mouth. Now, this is a case of right message, wrong messenger. I would think. So some people apparently are not happy with Kim Kardashian's recent advice for women in business. Now, during a promotional interview for her family's new Hulu series that I won't be watching, like I wasn't keeping up with the Panthers, over on the E! Network, she has basically pissed a lot of people off because she was out here telling people to get off your effing ass and work. We don't have that clip, do we? Because if we don't, then I'll tell y'all what she said. Okay, so that's fine. Because I didn't want to, be like, oh yeah, I'm not sure if we have it, and then we don't. Okay, but anyway, so she basically said, her advice is get your effing ass up and work, and was like, that people don't believe in. I guess she basically just implied that people just don't want to work. Because wait, hold on, I want to see if we could hear it. Can y'all hear it? Oh, okay, so y'all can't hear it. My bad. I thought y'all can't possibly hear that, but I realized my headphones is in, so y'all can't hear it. Anyway, so moving back, so let's go back to the story then. So during a promotional interview, everybody went in on her. Jamil went in on her, and even Bevy Smith had some shit to say about it. I'm gonna get to that in a second. So here's what she said. So the Kardashian family, has been in the spotlight since 2007, child. That's too damn long. So that's 17. That's literally 15 years these heifers been on TV. So anyway, so when she gave this advice, it just pissed a lot of people off. So here's what she said. She says, I have the best advice for women in business. Get your effing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. The comment quickly went viral and received much criticism. Actress and celebrity activist Jamila Jamil was one of many who found Kim's comments offensive, taking to her Twitter. I wasn't even going to look for it, but I'm like, well, damn, it's over here. It's here already, so let me just read it. Taking to her Twitter account, here's what she said. She says, I think if you grew up in Beverly Hills with super successful parents in what was simply a smaller mansion, nobody needs to hear your thoughts on success/work ethic. The same 24 hours in a day shit is a nightmare. 99.9% of the world grew up with a very different 24 hours. Which is true. Now, Beverly Smith, who I live for, she said this. Poor people across the country have been gaslit by rich people into believing the reason they aren't rich is because they don't work hard. People working 2 to 3 jobs and still need public assistance get off their asses every day and work. So this is a privileged fallacy. Which is, and then Carlos King, sit your ass down. Basically, you jumping on this because your ass wanted an exclusive. So he's do the work, say that shit. Child, first of all, I think you need to focus on trying to keep your shows on the air for more than one season. Then you can talk about hard work. But moving on. Now, what Kim said, right message, wrong messenger. We don't want to hear that from you. I think if it came from someone like a Jennifer Lopez, I will understand, because Jennifer Lopez is someone who came from nothing. She doesn't have family in the business. She doesn't have like that. She wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. She's a girl who was supposed to go to law school and decided, you know what, I want to be an actor. And her mother looked at her like, excuse me, what you trying to do? Like, that's not a realistic thing that we would see, especially if you coming from the Bronx, you're Puerto Rican. So if you're someone like that, or Cardi B, where she's this Dominican girl, ratchet as hell, as y'all would kind of look up because of the way she speaks, her addiction, all that other stuff. She is a real life Cinderella story. So you look at shit like that, that is impossible, because when it's someone who doesn't come from a silver spoon. I don't want to hear that from a Kim Kardashian. Girl, you got put on because you couldn't keep your legs closed to black dick. I'm so glad the other ones ain't here, because then I'd have to hear Lindsay try to defend this shit. But no, ma'am, you're not getting away with this. Now, I do agree that there are people out here who want instant gratification, who want that fame and that money and that success and that glamour. Money, success, fame, glamour. Remember that song from Party Monster? Anyway, back to the serious topic. You know, sometimes I jump off on a tangent. But anyway, back to us. You know, there are some people that want that instant fame, instant gratification. And not realizing that, you know what, there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. Like with this show, this isn't instant. I mean, it's instant when you watch it, but there's a lot of work that goes into putting this production together. But you're getting all the backgrounds, you're getting all the lower thirds, you're getting the photos, you're getting the videos, you're getting me putting these topics together. I'm coming off the dome with stuff, and I'm putting bullet points, making sure I got all my facts together to bring y'all a real production. That's hard work. When you're producing something off of nothing, when you got basically, you know, 2 peanuts and a paper clip, that's what this show is brought to you by. This is what we're paying with the show. You know, it's like when you literally make something look great with little to nothing. Kim Kardashian and her damn family have a lot that, you know, they were born with stuff. They come from wealth, and we don't want to hear wealthy people try to tell us regular people who, in between me doing this, I do work a regular job where I got bills where I gotta pay. It's great that you could have your 4 children and a bunch of nannies and a team of people that you could employ that can get you to do all these different things. And you can have your little endorsement deals. You have a field of people who can help you put together your Skims line and all these other little endorsements that you have going on that you slap your name on. So we do have the clip. I know it's going to take you a moment, but I was like, I want y'all to hear for yourselves, including with vocal fry. Roll the clip.
And work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
Yes, looking as plastic as ever. However, I stay coochie down to the side. Okay. I changed up Biggie's lyrics. But yeah, like I said, right message, wrong messenger. I don't want to hear that from you. Like if you are, like I said, somebody who comes from nothing and you prove that, you're one of the lucky ones. And that's what it also takes too. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's being in the right place at the right time, it's knowing the right people. And luck also is a big factor. That's the reality. I'm not gonna feed y'all no bullshit like she does and that other shit. So I can't take them serious, especially like when they did an interview also. What was that? When they were wrapping up their series, keeping up
Get your
the
fucking
Kardashians.
ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants.
Work, 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 work. Why does her lips always look dry when she puts lipstick on? Do you ever notice that like her lips stick together when she talk? Like, girl, maybe you need to get some sheen or something on there. Maybe you need to start using Vaseline instead of that dry ass lipstick. But anyway, she always thought like she has cotton mouth when she talks. But anyway, for the most part, it's like, yeah, like I said, I don't want to hear you start trying to speak on shit like this because it's a bunch of you're feeding these kids a fantasy and they all buy it just like y'all want us to believe. Oh, I worked so hard on my body. Remember when they did that? That's what I was trying to get to. When Andy Cohen was trying to do what was it? He was trying to do a Real Housewives type of reunion-esque situation with the family when they were wrapping up the show over on the E! Network. And they were up in there, oh, well, all this is diet and exercise and hard work. Girl, y'all also have a well-known doctor that helps y'all be nice and cinched because I'm sure that y'all got booty shots like Nicki Minaj finally admitted to getting when she did her interview with Joe Budden based on insecurities and stuff that she said she was hitting about because Wayne, had a lot of girls that would show up at the studio all the time. And they had like these small waist, big ass, these curvaceous girls. And she was getting ranked on them because she had no ass. And she was just like, she had, Nicki Minaj back in the day, she has a Zendaya figure. Like she was just a stick figure. Now she got titties, she got ass, she got curves. She literally looks like she could be on Pose if she really wanted to. Because she was good. She got the Pose special. If you know what I'm saying, I think you do. But yeah. Oh, this
Get the out of here. I'm getting to see your face. I don't want to be near your fat ass, okay? Shut the up. Stop, you chill. Get the out of here. I'm getting to see your face. I don't want to be near your fat ass, okay? Shut the up.
Ooh, that clip never gets old.
Get the out of here. I'm getting to see your.
She got her foundation on the wall too. By the way, I don't know if y'all saw that, but yeah. Okay, let's move on because I'm tired of talking about these broads. If y'all gonna watch her show, it's gonna be on Hulu. I don't care when, I don't know when, but if y'all care, y'all go watch it. In the meantime, I'm gonna just watch Pose, which all 3 seasons is finally on Hulu, and I'm gonna just stick with watching my Law and Order SVU over on Hulu. And also, what was the other show? Oh, they got the original Law and Order in there too. They're back with the whole new cast. It's been revived. So Hulu got better stuff on that. Oh, and I need to watch that movie Fresh with Sebastian Stan because I heard that was a good one. So Hulu got a lot of good stuff on there if y'all don't care enough to watch that mess. So speaking of which, let's get into this Brian Coogler story. So I did see earlier that we had the body cam footage stuff, so we're going to get to that in a second. But first, let me set up this story. So more details are surfacing surrounding the bank robbery mishap of director Ryan Coogler, who is in Atlanta right now, putting the finishing touches on Black Panther 2. So now body cam footage of Ryan Coogler has surfaced, revealing how the director reacted to being mistaken for a bank robber at a Bank of America in Atlanta back in January. The video first shows police officers approach the Black Panther director while he is still at the bank teller counter. We then see one of the officers pull out their gun before arresting Ryan Coogler. Now, we also can see the 35-year-old director appear shocked and confused as he said, whoa, what's going on? Now, while confused, Coogler quickly cooperated with police, telling the officers, hands behind your back, you got it. He then asked, is there any reason y'all are doing this? He also said, bro, because that sounds to be a thing. Now, to set all of this up, because we're going to get to that clip in a second, they said that he was taken outside of the bank and placed in the back of a police car. Now, what happened was, they said he walked up to the bank teller with his mask on, and he had a note that basically, because he wanted to be discreet, I guess, because he wanted to withdraw 12 grand from $12,000 cash from his checking account. And he says, please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet. I guess because he didn't want to bring attention to the fact they were pulling all his money out. Now, what I didn't understand is that, okay, so now if you have your ID, if you basically have the proof that this is your account, I would think you would have to present that. See, what I should have did was ask a friend of mine who works in the bank, he does the telling. He also does a lot of other work. But the next time this story does progress, and it winds up spilling over into drinks and drag, I'll ask him. But I want to get full details on this whole bank situation. But I'm sure, like, when it comes to that, he had a mask on. He could have lowered the mask or show that his face matches the ID, that this is actually his account. He can give the account number information. They can look it up, the checking, savings, whatever the case, or you can pull it up on his phone. Like in my phone, I have my bank information. Like with Wells Fargo, just put in my username, password. I don't save it. I put it in all the time because I don't trust bitches out here. So I don't save my username, password, and stuff. But according to I don't know if you could remove 12 grand from an ATM. So yeah, you have to go to the bank because the ATM only allows you to take a certain amount out. I think like the limit is like $500, depending. I don't know if all banks do it, but I know certain banks that I've dealt with. I've been with Citibank. I'm with Wells Fargo right now. Child, hopefully nothing happens to my account. You know what happened with Wendy Williams, but that's a whole other story. I'm with Wells Fargo. I've had Citibank. I've been with other banks in the past. So I don't know necessarily if all banks do this. I know some do 500 limit, some do 600 limit. Depends, but this situation, let's go along with it. So I'm sure there was a limit. So he had to go into the bank and do what a bank teller. But if you're a celebrity, I would think that I would have my people, and somebody be like, I will call up the bank and be like, okay, so I have director Ryan Coogler coming in. He needs to make a withdrawal. Can somebody be ready? And maybe he didn't know to do this. Maybe he just thought he could just walk in and do whatever. And when you do that, I'm thinking, we've seen enough TV shows and movies to know how this goes. Somebody come up to you with a note saying, I want to withdraw $12,000. I'm going to look at it as like, are we being robbed? Like, sometimes people have those moments where it's like, it's, the protocol of your job, but then you have an airhead, blonde moment, and you don't think of what you do. So you panic. Maybe she panicked. And of course, being as a black man, and look, I know people go, oh, she a black woman. You don't think we discriminate against our own people? It happens. There are black people who discriminate against their own kind in certain situations where you look at certain people as, I'm not that kind of black. I'm not ratchet. I'm not ghetto. I'm not that. There's some people that have that mentality, including black folks. Not just white people. It's been indoctrinated in a lot of our people, unfortunately. So we do have that clip. I just want to set that up a little bit, and then we'll come back with more of the show. Bullets. Oh, what is
feel comfortable, so he told me to call police while he, I guess, stalled. What is on the note, ma'am? It just says I want to withdraw $12,000. Just be discreet. Is this an actual customer, or are they trying to rob him? They had a debit card, and he inserted it. He gave.
It's a problem. I need everybody's name.
They're writing all your
I need everybody's name. You know what I'm saying? And I need to find out who made that call in there.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what
It came from the bank.
Yeah.
Came from the
I need
bank.
to find out who made the
That's
call.
fine. That's fine. You have all right to do.
I don't know. I have to say, you know what? Ryan, we'll see if if you feel that this is something that could have been rectified, a misunderstanding, whatever the case was. If you're willing to press charges or file a suit, or whatever the case is, then do what you need to do. we'll see. I mean, I don't know if necessarily the girl, if she was doing her job, she paying whatever the case is. I don't necessarily know the protocol of the bank. Like I said, I threw out some theories of if people work at a bank would know this. You could definitely comment and give me, a little more insight. Like I said, I will ask a friend of mine who works in a bank, what's the protocol, and see what he says, and then I'll come back with some more information on this. But yeah, this story is going to be going on, and I will definitely keep you abreast of this. I'm just wondering when the hell we get Black Panther 2, because y'all been filming this movie, it seems like forever. I mean, and I'm curious to find out how they're going to address this whole Black Panther situation, because we don't have Chadwick Boseman anymore. So I'm just curious to see it. Y'all wrap up this film and what's going to occur with that. So good luck to you, my brother. And let's move on to the next topic, because we out here talking about Marvel. Let's get into a little DC. So Zoe Kravitz is opening up about being discriminated against on an audition she was supposed to get for The Dark Knight Rises, saying that she was not allowed to audition for a role that she wanted to audition for because of the color of her skin, saying that she was a little too urban. Now, she, as I'm sure you may have heard, and if you saw my review of The Batman, definitely check that out. That was last week. It's in the little thingy majiggy. You'll want to check it out. But anyway, so she's earning rave reviews for her performance as Selena Kyle / Catwoman and Matt Reeves as the Batman. But the role was not the actor's first attempt to break into the Cape Crusaders universe on the big screen. Now, Kravitz recently told The Observer that her attempt to audition for a role in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises was rejected after she was told she was too urban for the part. Now, Kravitz did not disclose whether the role was for Catwoman, which ended up being played by Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises. She says, I don't know if it came directly from Chris Nolan. I think it was probably a casting director of some kind or a casting director's assistant. Being a woman of color and being an actor and being told at the time that I wasn't able to read because of the color of my skin and the word urban being thrown around like that, that was what was really hard about that moment. Now, during a 2015 interview with Nylon, Kravitz said that the role she was seeking in The Dark Knight Rises was a small one and that she couldn't get in the room because the film wasn't going urban for the role. The actor added at the time, it was like, what does that have to do with anything? I have to play the role like, yo, what's up, Batman? What's going on with you? Now, it's funny how 10 years later, she ends up in a Batman movie playing Catwoman and getting rave reviews for her part. But yeah, she said that she wasn't up for the role of Catwoman. I wonder if she was going to play the girl that was Selena Kyle's friend in the movie, if I remember correctly, because I'm like, what other small role? There was a little white girl with curly wavy hair or whatever that was kind of like Selena Kyle's friend in The Dark Knight Rises. I wonder if she was up for that role. But my thing is, what the hell does urban mean? And when you think urban, I don't think of Zoe Kravitz like, oh, what's going on? Hold on. She gives me like flower. I'm actually gonna look up the Instagram screenshot that I took of hers. It's in my I saved it. I screenshotted it. So I want to pull that up and read y'all exactly what she said, because she said this was some bad journalism and some clickbait, because people are out here making assumptions that she was up for the role of Catwoman, and she said that she was not up for the original. She was not initially up for Catwoman. That wasn't what she was going for. And people are saying, oh, she was too urban to be Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, and that people were trying to paint went as far as to paint Christopher Nolan as being this racist or whatever the case was. But here's what she said. Zoe Isabella Kravitz, by the way, is her name. Okay, let's talk about clickbait bad journalism. I was not told I was too urban to play Catwoman in The Dark Knight. It would have made no sense for me to even be considered for that role at that time. I wanted to audition for a small part in the film and was told, in parentheses, I do not know who said it, but it is how it was worded to me, in parentheses, that they were not going urban on the part. This is something I had heard a lot 10 years ago. It was a very different time. I did not mention this to point any fingers or make anyone seem racist, namely Chris Nolan. the film's producers, or anyone on the casting team, because I truly do not believe anyone meant any harm. I was simply given an example of what it was like to be a woman of color in this industry at that time. Again, this was many years ago when words like that were thrown around very casually. And although I'm very glad that we are attempting to evolve, let's all calm down as well as fact check before we write things that are untrue. Well, while you say all that, and it's good that you want to be, Miss Americana with that, we are going to talk about the fact that it should not matter. With, I mean, I get it. It was 10 years ago, and yes, the times was different. And we do talk about how there were certain words that was being thrown around that was people were a little unfiltered, a little politically correct, and problematic with a lot of things that we saw on TV that would be deemed today as racist, as colorist, as homophobic, as transphobic. Like, we could throw all the phobics and the isms all up in there, but a lot of that happened years ago. And now we're in a culture of accountability, so people have to be a little more sensitive. People have to be a little more politically correct in certain things. But yeah, going urban is a bad term, because what you're saying is ratchet, ghetto, dirty, unclean. Like, it's not like, okay, well, y'all want it. What you like when you think ratchet? It's like, okay, what? Mary J. Blige, y'all want her going up again? Like, she would be considered too urban when you look at a Mary J. Blige, who is acting a lot now. But yeah, when I think of that, I don't see Zoe Kravitz in that way. So I don't understand why she would even be deemed as someone who is too urban. But I guess because she is a woman of color, that's what y'all put that as. And it is problematic to kind of have that. But you know what? Times are changing. We're getting more women are getting more people are getting acknowledged and recognized and getting job opportunities and getting put up for stuff. So, you know what? At the end of the day, she's winning. The Dark Knight Rises, in my opinion, was not that great of a movie. I was disappointed. I feel like the only Batman film that I love from Christopher Nolan is The Dark Knight. And to me, when I look at the Batman, I look at that as a proper sequel to what we should have gotten after The Dark Knight. But I know shit happened because Chris Nolan wanted to bring Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight Rises, but he passed away, before the film even came out. So he never even got to see his work. So he had to go and come up with something. And I didn't particularly, in the Batman Begins, I didn't care about the Ra's al Ghul story and the League of Shadows and all that other stuff. And then in this one, they had Bane and Ra's al Ghul's daughter, and I didn't care about that whole storyline. So, to me, like I stated in my last video, this Batman gave me everything that I needed from a Batman film, because I've always wanted to see a Detective Batman on the big screen. It's not something we got before. And I didn't mind the little twist that they did with the connection of Falcone and Selina Kyle. I'm not going to give it away for those of you who haven't seen it, but I'm going to go see it again tomorrow, by the way. So, yeah, so I was bothered by it. So, you know what? She's winning. The movie made a shit ton of money at the box office. I already know DC already started shuffling around their movie dates. I'm a little disappointed with that I got to wait till next year to see freaking Aquaman. I thought I was going to see it in December, but it is what it is. So, Zoe, good luck to you. I know your career is thriving and you're bound to get more opportunities. Yeah. So, speaking of girls about to get more opportunities, let's talk about Madonna. But that's a bad idea. I think you hire someone, like maybe someone who did like Bohemian Rhapsody or one of those films to direct. Someone who really can give us the razzle dazzle. She co-wrote it and she was going to direct the biopic. I don't feel comfortable with people directing on biopics because it could come across as a bit biased. But anyway, so the biopic based on the Queen of Pop's life is currently in pre-production, with a slew of young stars reportedly gunning for the coveted role. Now, the women at the top of the short list is Inventing Anna and Ozark star Julia Garner. They're saying Black Widow star Florence Pugh and Euphoria breakout Alexa Demi, who, Alexa Demi she plays Maddie on Euphoria. I don't think Florence Pugh is going to get it because Florence Pugh doesn't have the role in Dune 2. So she's going to be busy with that movie. And I don't know when Madonna's going to start shooting this movie, but I think it's going to clash. And if this story is to be believed, she's not going to have time to devote to shooting Dune 2 and putting up this rigorous thing that Madonna is this boot camp that Madonna's about to start putting a lot of these potential hers on the big screen. They're also saying indie queen Odessa Young, singers BB Rexa and Sky Ferreira, and mayor of Kingstown actress Emma Laird are up for the role as well. I actually like Sky Ferreira. I don't want to say why she hasn't put out music. BB Rexa, I know she's been trying to make her career happen, but if this would have happened, this would be a good come up for her. And this is according to the Hollywood Reporter, so this is legit. Now, sources are telling the publication that contenders must endure a grueling audition process. Casting director Carmen Cuba, as well as a Madonna boot camp, which implies intense choreography training sessions lasting up to 11 hours a day with Madonna's choreographer and the pop icon herself. So I wonder if it's the Talawega brothers or whatever, because they work with her a lot. And Jamie King, I know, does a lot of her live shows and putting all that together. Now, for the callback portion of the process, the actresses must do readings with Madonna, who is 63, as well as singing auditions. What if they can't sing? Why can't they just mime your vocals? Because you're the singer. So I don't understand why they can't just pretend that they're singing. Because I don't want an Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast moment where, okay, this girl, great actress, we want her in this role to play Belle, but she's not that great of a singer. And then you can pretty much tell from watching the movie that she's not that great of a singer. So even if these girls aren't a singer, I would love to, see a girl who's a singer who has potential to be an actress and have her do it. So that way she understands the art of music and stuff. And this whole thing with them saying, they're saying that the title, the rumored title, is going to be called Blonde Ambition. I actually think that'd be a perfect title for the movie. Or Confessions on a Dance Floor. Pick an album title. With Brett Ratner's Rat Pack and Michael DeLuca attached to produce. Now, she was working on the script with Diablo Cody, who wrote Juno and a bunch of other films, Oscar-winning Diablo Cody. But then she left the project, and now Erin Cressida Wilson is now on board. But this whole boot camp situation, I'm not surprised by it, because to me, I always look at it as like, Madonna's always been something where her work ethic is crazy in regards of how she's a perfectionist when it comes to her live performances. A lot of people have always said this, whenever she's putting those tours together, like, she is literally going at it. Like, she's literally up there, like, keeping up with those 20-year-old dancers that she has. So she is every minute detail, nothing gets past her. She has got her eye on everything. So the extensive choreography, yeah, she's very tough when it comes, like, if you're going to dance with Madonna, that's big. So I can believe that, and I can imagine the grueling hell that you're going to be put through. Like, this is not going to be an easy gig. Like, this is big if you're going to be playing an icon like Madonna. She is one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. And then learning how to dance, the extensive dancing, the extensive singing, all that extra stuff. So I get it. She's coming at this like, literally, it's an overall performance. And Madonna, whenever she, has an album out, she embodies a certain character, and she is that character from the beginning of that album comes out to the very end, which includes the tour and everything. So whoever gets this role, and I'm interested to find out who will finally get the role, and I'll definitely let you guys know when that happens. This is, I'm definitely looking to see like how they put those together, and I'm really hoping this movie is going to be good, because you know what, I am a huge Madonna fan. It's definitely a long time coming that we get her story being told, and hopefully she's not going to shy away and just make it like this one-sided thing that we get warts and all, including if she wants to talk about the past relationship, the Sean Penn marriage and that drama that happened with that. I don't know if she could talk about Guy Ritchie. I mean, she had to pay him out a lot of money when they got a divorce. So, that whole situation, Lourdes's father, and that whole relationship, trying to be taken as a serious actress when she did Evita, and, trying to get an Oscar for that. So I hope we get all of that. And then the come up through her era and being in New York and that sort of thing. So, I mean, we know it all from behind the music and things that she's told us. The sex era, what really was going through her mind when that whole situation, when that whole shenanigan situation happened, where her career was almost over with that. When she's been on the forefront talking about HIV and AIDS, and her career was almost over for that. And including a Black Jesus, which, was controversial at the time, played by Leon. So there's a lot. So shout out to Madonna. I'm looking forward to this movie when it comes out. Okay, so let's talk about Nicki Minaj. So, and I told you we got a lot of topics. Now, she recently did an interview with Joe Budden, basically on the Joe Budden podcast. I think it's like 90 minutes. So definitely, if you guys get a chance, definitely check out the interview. It was a really good interview. Now, Nikki, who was 39, spoke about someone who she really speaks about, Little Kim and her influence on fashion and the world at large. Now, here's what she said. Hey, Kim. The same way I feel I should have already been on the cover of American Vogue, so should have Little Kim. If we're being all the way 1,000, if this is what your magazine represents, influence. Because when myself and Little Kim goes on the internet, every day we see our influence. We will see our influence. So I'm not going to say it's about me only and not give that woman her dues about what she said. Now, I will say Little Kim has not responded to this, and Little Kim is 47. By the way, how you doing? I saw a picture of her recently. I was like, she looked good. That waist is snatched. Well, in the past, Nicki Minaj has credited Little Kim and given her as saying as one of her influences. But there's been tension between the two. And there has, Kim has always felt that Nicki has not properly paid homage to Kim, and Nicki has bitten her style many a times, and Nicki has taken shots at Kim quite a few times. And I even heard recently that, what was it, in an interview where I think she's on a red carpet at the BET Awards or whatever, Little Kim said she would love to do a versus with Nicki. Now, does Kim have enough hits where she could go up toe-to-toe against Nicki? I don't know. But just the fact that these two could sit down and be in a versus together, I think that would be enough just for the culture. And look, say what you want about Kim, not Kim, Nicki, and believe me, I have. Where, a lot of subliminals she likes to throw, and she likes to get a lot of her barbs riled up and to say a lot of negative stuff towards certain people, and she does kind of like to hide behind her barbs. Or you like to be picky and choosy in certain buzz things that are said. But I do feel like, there have been times when Nicki has given Kim her flowers, but I do feel like, there's always been a little shade thrown up in there. And looking at this interview, I do feel that Nicki has matured a bit. Now, this is strategy. That's just something that I guess is TBD. But in regards of this, I have to say I applaud her for finally giving Kim her flowers. Because, yes, while their styles are completely different in regards of Nicki is definitely someone who is a good writer on a lot of her stuff. Like, she definitely has skills as a rapper. We should give her her flowers on what she is contributing to the industry. However, a lot of time with the attitude and how she's burned so many bridges, it's hard to do that. And I think maybe she's at this point in her career, she realized she needs people, so she's trying to rebuild those bridges that she's burnt. Especially when you're trying to make a comeback of sorts. Because Nicki really hasn't been out here putting music out like she has. I know she has the 2 singles out right now, but you get all these other girls are coming for that, coming for the throne. We got the Doja Cats and the Sweeties and the Megan Thee Stallions and Cardi B and so many of these other things. I heard Cardi B was pressed over this whole thing, but I'm like, I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I saw some of the blogs was talking about it, but I don't know how accurate that is. But I just have to say it's finally nice that Little Kim, let's say Little Kick. Anyway, she finally gave Little Kim her flowers because it was well deserved, long time coming. Because whether or not you are for Kim's style, yeah, their styles are vastly different. In regards of the fashion, Little Kim started that with the whole Black Barbie dressed in Bulgari. That is a lyric from one of her songs, the Jump Off. Look it up. She is an icon in the world of fashion, and y'all need to give Kim her her flowers on that. Like, nobody was talking about fur coats and Fendi and Gucci and Prada and Dolce and Gabbana. None of y'all was talking about that in y'all music. Now a lot of y'all girls are doing it, or appearing on a cover in a pair, a thong, a bra, and a fur coat, and some loose side heels. Like, Little Kim was doing that. Then of course we have Foxy Brown, but Foxy Brown kind of just fell off, so we don't include her in this conversation. But like I said, I'm just glad that Little Kim basically finally got her flowers from Nicki Minaj, so we could all put that to bed. Now, speaking of putting stuff to bed that we could, or we probably been putting this to bed. So apparently people are shocked, I tell you, shocked because 90s R&B singer Tevin Campbell basically came out of the closet. Who didn't know he was a big old queen? But anyway, 90s R&B singer, the internet was buzzing over the 90s R&B singer, Tevin Campbell, who was 45, said he has come out as gay. Now on Tuesday, March 8th, the Can We Talk for a Minute singer allegedly responded to a fan's comment about him possibly being a homosexual. In a now deleted tweet, a fan wrote, "My mom keep telling me Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, and Tevin Campbell were gay." Well, child, we knew about Luther Vandross, because I would always hear stories that if Luther Vandross lost weight, he was in love. Yeah, I know we at the 90-minute mark, but we probably going to have to go over a little bit because I'm getting all these topics, child. But we're going to rush through. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Let's keep it going. Well, we know about Luther Vandross because, yeah, the whole Luther Vandross thing, Teddy Pendergrass, a word on the current, allegedly, that because of how he got paralyzed because he was getting his knob slobbed in the front seat, and he took his foot off the brake, and he had a little crash situation at the tree, and there was a whole T-girl that was up there, and you know, that was the rumor. And Tevin Campbell, there was always stories about him. Like, you could tell that he was overtly effeminate, and they were trying to hide it. I mean, quite as a kid, there was a lot of people under Quincy Jones' thumb that kind of had that rumor. But Will Smith included. But apparently Campbell confirmed the fan's comment, replying back using a rainbow flag emoji. And he said, Tevin is rainbow flag emoji, smiley face emoji. He also, shortly after, another social media user addressed Tevin Campbell, mentioning the new Don't Say Gay bill, which recently passed in Florida. Now, the controversial bill forbids instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Now, as a joke, the social media, he wrote, "Congratulations on our soon-to-be ban from the state of Florida." Well, I heard Georgia's trying to jump on that shit, too. That story came out today. And Campbell replied, "I'll live." I guess he don't live in Florida. I don't know. Then I also heard that Dumb Santis, not to get a little political, but now they've banned something where you can't talk about anything to do with racism or, you know, posting a lot of those books and things. Allegedly. So anything that has to do with, you know, oh my God, what is the phrase that they always use on The View when it comes to when we're talking about people of color and black stories and black books and things that, well, anything that, you know, they want to ban Toni Morrison books, they want to ban The Color Purple, they want to ban all these things that, you know, that are genuinely about talking about race and things. What is it? Critical race theory. That's what it is. I don't know how I couldn't think of it. I mean, yeah, they say it's alleged, but it's a fact. So Dumb Santa's doing all this shit as a distraction because he want to be, you know, the orange fucktard so damn bad. So it, you know, whether or not Tevin Campbell, you know, was coming out of the closet, whatever the case is, you know what? Good for him. Allegedly.
I said what I said.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, kudos to him for coming out as gay. Live your truth, girl. And I don't even know at this point, do people really want some music from him? But anyway, so let's talk about Saucy Santana. So he did a recent interview where he admitted that he originally didn't like being boxed in as a gay rapper, but has since come to embrace the title. Now, the 28-year-old artist discussed his relationship with the LGBTQ community during a recent interview with Office Magazine, saying initially it was, when asked if it's annoying being reduced to just a gay rapper. He says, "Now I take it and I embrace it, and I'm glad and I'm proud and I treat it with pride." He also continued by saying, "I initially was so big on being accepted by the straight people that by straight people that I didn't want to be known as a gay rapper. Now I don't mind because calling me a gay rapper or LGBT rapper because that is my community. That is my culture. That is who I am fighting for. I used to get offended about being called the gay rapper because I didn't want to feel like my music was boxed. I've proven even with me being gay that my music touches everybody. Material Girl is being sung by kids, men, women, grandmas, aunties, uncles, and granddaddies. So my dances are being done by white, Muslims, Spanish, Black, 50-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 10-year-olds, etc. My music touches and inspires everyone, so I don't mind holding the gay rapper title. Now, like I said, he's got Material Girl, Walk, those are my songs. And, he's been on Love and Hip Hop Miami, so he's out here doing his thing. And I have to say, I'm pretty much proud of him. And, Material Girl is always my shit. Like, I live for ratchet hip hop. That's just my thing. I go to. So, I totally understand where he's coming from because, when you initially come out and you're a minority, you don't want to be boxed in. And I have to give a shout out to Funky Dineva because I know Saucy did say in a recent interview, and I cannot remember the interview, but it literally dropped today. I'm sure if y'all go online and you'll see Saucy did do an interview. I think it was DJ Sneak or something or another. I think it's his name. But anyway, he did an interview where he was talking about that, being pigeonholed and this, that, and the other, especially when it comes to the, gay rappers in predominantly hip hop world, that I don't think he sees there's an opening where there's an embrace of us, that we always have to kind of hold ourselves back because when we're in this room, you have certain rappers who want to have a woman in there because they feel like you're going to hit on them or, all these insecurities that a lot of these so-called confused straight boys, because a real secure man don't give a damn whether or not which is sexual orientation is. They'll fuck with you. Real secure men in their sexuality and their gender and all this stuff. But Rick Ross did an interview with Funky Dineva, and he was like that there's been people in the industry that embrace the gay community, which is why, when I talked about Boosie and them going, when he said that people didn't want to F with him because of what he said about Lil Nas X, I do think there's some truth to that. I do think that people are very open and embracing LGBTQ rappers. Now, with the opportunity presents that we can get our own Lollapalooza type of situation, where we can get a festival going on, because we was talking about that earlier. Let's get Saucy and Cakes and Liberace and Tyler the Creator and Young M.A. and Lil Nas X and a bunch of the other rappers on a roster and get them out here and start, doing a festival and performing. Bitch, I'll host it. So let's get this thing going, because we definitely, there's a lot of LGBT people who love hip hop. And look, I've been hosting things with Queerathon and all that other stuff and getting that world out there. And so y'all can see this and presenting a lot of up and coming artists that you may not have heard of that are way, 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 way underground, that are putting out music on their own and spending their own money and doing their own thing. And their music is top notch. It is better, in my opinion. And I will go on the record and say it. It definitely beats a lot of your faves that y'all be out here putting so much energy into, or the labels be trying to put so much energy into, talking about that they're putting out such phenomenal work. But when you hear these independent artists, I'm like, well, damn, y'all production is on point. That beat is sick. This is stuff that you would think they spending, because they pay a lot of these mainstream artists with the studios, that they sign with, they spend so much money on production. And it's like these younger up-and-coming unknown artists are putting so much, they're not even spending a lot of money on production, and their production sounds 10 times better than a lot of y'all faves beats that y'all up in here, getting all excited for it. So shout out to Saucy, and I was like, what happened? So I was like, yeah, shout out to Saucy, and kudos to him for saying that, because you know what, like I said, there's a lot of artists out here who feel like that. I can't. So yeah, shout out to him for that. But okay, so we're about to close out this show with, let me talk about Colt Underwood, because this heifer, I just knew I had to read her today. Because initially, I'm going to admit, I was not going to talk about him, because I'm like, why we keep giving these basic ass, ideal gay white personalities a platform, especially somebody who lied about liking pussy to get on The Bachelor, got with a whole woman, talking about that this was a litmus test, mind you, these are women on here who are literally trying to, I guess, have a come up an opportunity. You know, I don't know. You know what? I'm sorry, but a lot of y'all be like, I'm looking for. No, y'all not. Y'all looking for a come up. You're looking for opportunity. Y'all trying to be actors. I don't believe none of this love shit is actually real and authentic on these bachelor type of shows. It's all for entertainment value. So Colton and a million others, you know, whether you're straight or whatever the case is, a lot of y'all are playing this game on these shows, and these producers buy into the BS and they play it up. So Colton up in here using all these girls, they were using his ass too. So it was an equal opportunity situation, I guess. But for the, you know, and kudos to him for finally coming to terms with liking dick and coming out of the closet and the coming out Colton, having his little advisors who was teaching him what it's like to be gay. That's great. Kudos to you, Queen. But this, and now all of a sudden you want to act like you Dr. Ruth when you just all of a sudden put your mouth on a penis.
What I said.
6 months ago, and now all of a sudden you Dr. Goddamn Ruth, ma'am.
Allegedly.
Sit your ass down. So, so Cassie Stalker apparently has some advice for all the single folks out there who are still looking for love in all the wrong places or looking for the one. So the newly engaged reality TV star and Bachelor alum co-hosted a broadcast on Amazon Live recently with his engagement party event planner April Gray. And during the stream, he took some time to answer some of the fans' most burning questions. I say this all with sarcasm, by the way, and a serious fierce eye roll, especially since this was his first public appearance since announcing his upcoming nuptials. Now, when asked if he has any advice for all the single ladies and single queens who are trying to get into a relationship as soon as they can. First of all, shade on the wording Out magazine, by the way. Underwood, I was gonna say Underwears, took a page out of Mama Rue's "If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you're gonna love somebody else?" school of thought, saying, "It took myself to find myself and make sure I was comfortable being single and an individual before I got into a relationship. It took a lot of therapy, a lot of self-work, self-care to figure out what I needed. How could I be a better partner, better communicator, and a lot of ups and downs to get to this point?" He continued, "So my biggest piece of relationship advice is to make sure you are okay as an individual before becoming a partner. Child, fuck you with this ABC style relationship. Like, ma'am, that's the best your ass can come up with." He also said he's not signing a prenup with his fiance, Jordan C. Brown, who is a political advisor. So I know y'all wondering, like, prenup, who's got that kind of money? Well, while Colton has made some coins from reality TV, and I know he's got an upcoming reality TV show that he's doing for CBS with a couple of other celebrities that I won't be watching. I think it's supposed to be an Amazing Race Survivor type of show. I don't remember the name of it, nor do I give a damn. If y'all care, y'all can use Google or Schmoogler and look it up. But, you know, there's little crumbs that he's about to make from that, and I'm sure he's going to get a lot of endorsement deals and red carpets rolled out of him because he is a straight in appearance, straight acting. Hey, Hugo, how you doing? This is what they're gonna be all for, and he's gonna get his little whatever, and he'll be able to do, you know, he'll get his opportunities. But Jordan is a political advisor. Now, what that means is he worked on Obama's campaign. He has a lot of political ties, which means that money is pretty long. They spent $3 million on that house that they're currently living in. They met last year, I think during the pandemic. So this was all going on while he dropped that Coming Out Colton show. He was in a relationship already. And I already knew, you know, based on the guy, because he's 39 and I think Colton is 30, he said to his gay guy, I know I'm being shady as I say that, but that's what y'all call it, so we'll go with it, Gus Kenworthy, that he was into daddies. So he wanted an older male type. So I guess he kind of likes that older man fantasy, you know, someone who could show him the ropes and knows a lot. But, child, I'm sorry. I don't have time to teach no young man who just came out of the closet how to be a faggot. I really don't. Like, what you need to do, in my opinion, is take the time to really, like I always said, first of all, now as gay men, we know we need to go through our whole period. And what that means is you need to fuck as many or get as many people out of your system before you get to that point. You know what? I'm ready to settle down. Now, some take longer than others. Go on, girl. What you about to say? Because I thought he was going to pay this, you know, my favorite, like, what the fuck is going on in this day? But anyway, so yeah, So you gotta have your whole period. Like we all go through that phase. Am I the only one? So you need to have your whole period. Get that out of your system, because if you literally just latch onto the first man that comes in your radar, how does that work? I mean, I know like in the olden days that kind of worked out.
What the fuck is going on?
I know in the olden days that's how, you know, my parents and their generation, my parents' parents, that's how they did it. You got with the first man, you were a virgin, allegedly, because he claimed he was a virgin. But I'm sure when you got that first whiff of dick, you wasn't a virgin for long. I know when you so when you go through your what? Okay, hey Jay Hunt, how you doing? So yeah, that's hilarious that this man is out here having the nerve to give us relationship advice when, ma'am, you literally just discovered you like, I mean, you just came to terms with like a dick 5 minutes ago. Now all of a sudden you are expert on relationships. But yeah, so now he said that people apparently was outraged over the fact that he said he's not getting a prenup. So my thing is, I look at this as I really don't care about what he was talking about, praying the gay away and the cover-ups and all that other stuff. You could get all that if y'all give a damn to watch this special. I watched like 3 episodes. I was like, I was done. I was like, ma'am, look, let's give this whole point. Let's give opportunities to people of color or underrepresented LGBTQ people who have bigger, better stories, who have things that we should be talking about, and give them the platforms, give them the opportunities. But y'all love to give it to these basic ass. No shame, but I'm just going, as I say, these basic ass straight acting white cis male types. We all want to give them all the attention, and there's so many stories out here with so many different people. Like, I would love to hear what it's like to grow up gay and Muslim. I would love to hear what it's like to grow up being gay and Latino, or a trans person and a person of color. Like, we need those stories. So y'all want to continue to give it to these basic ass bitches, be my guest. But I'm gonna tell you this: just like Wendy Williams said that Kanye and Kim marriage ain't gonna last, this marriage ain't gonna last either. Mark my words. And I will not be eating no goddamn crow like she did on national television. Now, at that point, let's wrap this episode of On the Line, this way extended episode, because we had a lot of stuff to get to. Thank you all for sticking to me. For those of you who stuck through the end, be sure to click like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Yeah, this was a long-winded one. Drinks and Drag will be back next week. But yeah, so I just had to jump on here because we had a lot of tea to spill. And thank you all for tuning in and watching and supporting, and continue to do so. And thank you all for those of you who were chiming in the comments during the live show. And also, if you watch this later on when it's no longer live, leave your comments down there as well. I would love to hear what you got to say, and also like. So love you all for listening. Love you all for watching. I feel like I'm on the radio when I say love you all for listening to the podcast side. But anyway, love you all for watching. Until next time, ciao, darlings. And yes, follow me on my social medias.
How dare you? Who are you?
No, wait, no! Ah, sorry!
This is for faggots.